Hello Monday Motivators. This video is part of a series on big resilience. And what I want to focus on today is thriving on change. A few weeks ago, I was at Procter & Gamble teaching a segment on thriving on change. And at break, I started talking to one of the executives I know there, and we were talking about change and we were talking about resilience. And I remember the executive said that there are a lot of changes going on, but the problem is we're not adapting to change as quickly as we need to in this day and age. So let's talk about change. It's one of my favorite topics to speak on. So first of all, change comes in different sizes. There are little changes that we experience every day. It could be a change in the way you're going to work. You come across a detour sign. It could be a change in your routine in the morning at home with the kids. Throughout the day, I know you experience a lot of changes. Then there are big changes that happen in our life. And usually what participants tell me for big changes is those have to do with illness and death, or your children leaving home, or children getting married, or children coming back home. And then there are, some that fall in between. Well, I believe change is a skill that we can learn and we can develop. I certainly have worked on it for years, and I'm getting pretty good at it, but sometimes there are changes I don't like, and then I really have to think about my strategies. So today, I just want to share with you some of the strategies, but I want to encourage you to read the actual Monday Motivators, because I speak about or write about why do we resist change. And it's important to know why you resist certain changes and be able to move forward. But let's go through some of my favorite tips. So first of all is to anticipate where things are going. So then secondly, you can prepare. Well, how do we anticipate? You have to keep your eyes and your ears open. And sometimes at work, we're just so busy and we're thinking about our deadlines and having to finish certain projects by 4 o'clock today or by tomorrow or the end of the week that we don't take time to truly listen to what people are saying, or truly reading through emails or maybe company news, so that we can anticipate what changes might be occurring. So we can go to the second step, which is to prepare. Basically to prepare in any way, shape, or form that you can for the changes that are coming that you are aware of. There are a lot of changes we'll never know about until they're actually happening. And that's why you want to anticipate and prepare as much as you can. Another favorite strategy of mine is to accept. In other words, as you're going through that actual change, the more we fight it, the harder it is, and the harder it is for us to truly embrace it and be at the top of our game during that change. So do the best you can to accept it. And then on the other hand, be easy on yourself if you're not adapting as quickly as you thought you could. The next strategy I really like. It evolves around 2 words and symbols that the Chinese have for change, and they talk about danger and opportunity. So if we're making a change, or even if a change is being forced upon us, yes, we should look at what could go wrong. But then we should put our energy and put our focus on the opportunity or the lessons that we can learn. And what we tend to do when we're going through change is focusing on all the reasons why it's not going to work and why it's not good for us and what could go wrong. And then a lot of times we scare ourselves, and that's why we don't make personal changes. So when a change is occurring, or if you're creating a change, to be resilient, yes, see the danger and then put all your energy into the opportunities. Keep your focus on the lessons that you can learn. Another strategy is to hang tough. Tough times, as you've heard, tough times never last, but tough people do. You have to have that staying power. And I use this great visualization when I'm going through a lot of changes and really difficult changes. is where I picture myself standing on the beach by the beautiful ocean. And at first I picture everything calm and the water's beautiful and the sun is shining and it's just a great day. That represents when life is going well for me, when it's really working and I'm excited about things that I'm doing. But then I start to picture how the waves start kicking up and the clouds start rolling in and it's getting really cold, and I picture myself hanging on really tight to my arms and digging my feet into the sand as the waves of change come over me. And I just picture myself holding on really tight no matter what comes my way. And eventually the waves of change subside and the sun starts to come out, and I'm still standing. I'm a little beat up and I'm a little tired, but the point is I'm standing through the waves of change. Another one is to get support. We need support from people when we're going through change, whether it be your friends at work, colleagues, family members, outsiders, neighbors. But there's a caution. If that person is not supportive of the change, if they do not make you feel better when you walk away and they make you feel worse about what's happening, then you don't want to talk to those people about the changes and what you're experiencing, because they're going to make you feel worse. And you don't need that when you're struggling with change as it is and you're trying to be resilient and tough. Another is to focus on gratitude, what you're grateful for in your life. So as you're going through changes, and maybe they're difficult, or maybe they're, again, at work, maybe there are some changes that are happening that you're not really thrilled about, or they may affect your job, is to focus on the things that you are grateful for. And I know for sure you can find at least 3 things each day that you really appreciate in your life. And the last one that I want to share with you is to think of change, that you're just stretching as you're going through a change. That's what I picture, kind of like a rubber band. We're being stretched. We're not in our comfort zone and we're not in our new comfort zone. We're just kind of hanging out right now and having to stretch and learn new skills. Well, if you want more information on change, be sure to read the entire Monday Motivator, because I will go into more detail for you. Remember, be resilient and thrive on change.